everyone. That's just going through my brain. What is it? Well, it's an opening to one of the songs we did yesterday in church. It was, Again I Say Rejoice, you know, Israel's song. And it starts out with that. It's a 6/4-1. I'm using power chords here. E, E, it's all E, D, A. It's pretty neat, but it gets in your brain, you can't get it out. It's kind of come a long ways, the music, from where I was used to playing when I was younger. I mean, we used to play that song, and it was totally different. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away. And so it's a long ways to when we get to this. Anyways, it was fun though. We had a lot of fun, played in 2 different campuses. Songs that we sang, Our God Reigns, another Israel. And Again I Say Rejoice, Holy Forever, C.C. Winan. And Give Me Jesus, James Wilson. We did another one, it doesn't come to mind right now because I went to 2 different places. We kind of mixed it up a little bit. But it was a lot of fun. Some of it was a little challenging for me. I don't know if I was tired or what, but some of those changes it can really get your brain going when you get tired, especially at this age, you know, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I'm so glad they put up with me there. They're such a good group of young people, and I love to watch them and listen to them. Their dedication is just absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Anyways, I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about the language that we have when we're playing, because it differs in different places you go to. I mean, I know the way I like to look at music because I'm comfortable with chords. But the language, when you're playing with groups, tends to fall into numbers. Did you run into that? Have you ever seen some of that going on? If you're my age, things change as time goes on, I suppose. But I understand it. It does work really well. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today. Because, you know, for instance, this right here, that's a 6 right there, because I believe this is an A. But anyways, it starts with an E, and then goes to a D, and then to an A. So we got the E, D, A, which is a 6/5-1. So you might hear somebody say, okay, we're going to go back to the 6. Well, you need to know what the 6 is. You know, so if you're not thinking like that, it can get kind of challenging. So I thought I'd explain to you what it is, at least how I see it, and how it works for me, because it does. And I'm teaching my brain to think like that, because you got to do a little fast calculating in your brain. I mean, you have to, first of all, know the key, and then you've got to be able to think that abstract thinking and see those chords as being numbers. And in doing so, you can very quickly transpose a piece of music. You can very quickly go from C to D to E to F. And it's awesome the way it works. But you need to understand it. And I think it's good to practice it a little bit. Sometimes I'll sit down and just look at it and I'll start thinking, well, what is that? And that's helped me a lot just to kind of practice using that method. But let me just show you one, okay? I got a little buzz here. It's my microphone. There we go. This might just be a little too loud. I had the boost on my DI pedal. Let me just turn that off. That helps a little bit. Okay, so let's work on this number system. And it's a language, okay? So I'm used to looking at things in chords, so it's sort of a challenge for me at times to really focus on it, but I've spent time with it. I keep spending time with it so that I can become more fluent with thinking in terms of the numbers. And I'll explain in just a minute. But just like any language, it's not just something you can look at and say, now I know it. unless you have a brilliant mind. And you know, and there are people out there that can do this. I mean, they learn something very quickly and it just stays with them. And some people have to work, like myself, I have to work at it. So, and if you were to teach me a new language like French or German or whatever, I'd have to work at it. I wouldn't be able to just go out and say, oh, here we go, you know. I had a friend of mine years ago, her mother came from Germany, and she was trying to learn the language, and it didn't always come out right. Sometimes there was a mistake, and she struggled with it, but she learned it. My friend told me a story about her mother going to the store. She wanted cabbage, and she asked somebody where the cabbage was, and when she said it, she used the word garbage instead. And they told her to come back after 5 o'clock, which she did, and then they took her out to the garbage cans. So anyways, it's a crazy story, and this was certainly happened a long time ago. But but it's the perils of learning a language. I've tried to learn sign language, and in learning sign language, sometimes I would get my letters mixed up, and it can mean a lot when you get letters mixed up. Like try signing out by letters words like duck and get some of that wrong, and which I have, and I'm embarrassed to say, and I'm not going to go into detail on that one, but you can almost imagine. So anyways, it's a challenge, and you got to work at it. It's a language. And so this number system is a language. And so I'll explain to you how it works, but you'll have to sit down and kind of think about it if you haven't used it before. Some of you are probably more fluent than I am in it, and so you understand them. Maybe you can help us out by sharing how you learned it. How do you think through it? Do you have a certain way that you do it? Maybe there's a key that I haven't picked up yet. But so share that with us. I want to hear it. But in any case, let me explain it now, okay? So if you're in a key and you know the key, let's say we're in the key of G, and right now I have this, let me take this capo off. Okay. Okay, so you're in the key of G. Okay, and somebody says, we're going to play a song, and the song's going to be a 1-4-5. Well, that's very, very common, especially for old gospel music. 1-4-5 is used a lot for a lot of the songs that are played. There's a lot of campfire songs, cowboy songs use that 1-4-5. But let's say they're playing in G, and the 1-4-5 for G, you don't know which chords it is because you don't have a chord chart, and they say just play 1-4-5. Well, you can figure that out by knowing the key, which is G, because now you know it's the 1. Okay, the key is always 1. Now the 4. If this is 1, we're going to count our fingers. 2, 3, 4. 4 would be this finger. 5 will be my pinky finger, okay? So if this is G, we're going to go up the scale. Okay, our scale ends at G, so we have to move to A again. So G, A, B, C. So our 4 is going to be C, and then D. So our 5 is going to be D. You can see it up there. Now you'll also notice I've written it in Roman numerals up there. See that? It's nice to know the Roman numerals, and I'll show you why in just a bit. But I'll also put the number system above that. So you see both of those, okay? So depending on which one's easier for you to see. I'll change the color on it a little bit too. So we got the G, C, D. There it is. That's the 1-4-5. Well, somebody comes along and says, well, I need to move up to A, okay? You could put a capo, and to go to A, you could put a capo on the 2nd fret, and then play G, keep playing G, C, D. I mean, and you're up on A. You've already done it using a capo, and it works great. Okay, and but in this case, you forgot your capo. You left it in the case, and you're standing up there thinking, okay, I got to change this, because now we're going to go to A. All right, so you know the key is A, right? And you know you're playing 1, 4, 5, right? So then just count it out. A, B, C, D is the 4, and then E would be, A, D, E would be the 5. So let me say this again. So the A, the D, and the E would be your chords that you're going to be playing for the 1, 4, 5. You want to change it to D, okay? So here it is, D. So what's the 4? E, F, G, and then A again. So you got D, G, and A. So there it is. So you can transpose just by knowing the 1, the 4, 5, because you know that's what you're playing, 1, 4, 5. And you can also work backwards on that. Let's say you have a song that's G, C, D. That's all you know. You know you're in the key of G. Well, you can figure the numbers out yourself just by saying, okay, here's G, A, B, C. So C must be 4, and D is going to be 5. So now you know you're on 1, 4, 5. It's your way of finding the 1, 4, 5. And once you find that, you can put any key to that and play in any key. Does that make sense, or did I make you confused? All right. So let's try another one. Let's try the 1, 4, and the 6, 5. 1, 4, 6, 5. You notice it says 6, and you notice the Roman numeral is little. Well, that's because it's a minor chord that's going to go there. That's the nice part about knowing the Roman numerals, okay? But usually when somebody says play the 6, you're most commonly talking about a minor chord, okay? But in any case, you don't completely know unless you see it in this Roman numerals. And now it tells the story. It's telling us we're going to go from major notes, major C, G, C to E minor to D if you're playing in G. Because we have G, A, B, C would be 4, and then the E minor is the 6, because this is 5. I don't have 6 fingers, but if I did, it'd be right here, and it would be a minor chord. It would be the E minor, and then you'll go back to the D, okay? So there you go. So that's another way to do it. And once again, because you know that if you wanted to change to A, well, let's change it to C. So if you wanted to change it to C, you go C, and you go to D, E, and F, and then the 6 would be A minor, and then back to G again. So we've got C, F, A minor, and G, and you've transposed it. Now you know how to move from one chord to the other without using your capo. You now know the chords that you need to be playing. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Some songs that go along with it. Well, for the 1, 4, 5, 1, I found some songs. Free Falling's one of them. That's a really good. You Are My Sunshine uses that. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, the Beatles song. But Free Falling's kind of a neat one. Remember that? So if you know the numbering system on that, and basically that one's using 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. It's actually switching it up a little bit, but it's using a 1, 4, 5. You can easily change the keys on that as well, because you know the numbers that you're using. And for this song here, I'm playing in G right now. It's actually played in F. So if you listen to the music online, they're playing in F. And the interesting thing is what I think I saw anyways, from one of the videos, that he was capoing it around the 3rd fret and playing in a D. And so in this case here, D, if you play D at the 5th fret, you know you've got F. So you've got the F, and so if I know I'm at D, and we're going to try to figure out the 4, D, E, F, and so we know we're going to go to the G, and then we're going to go to the A, and so we know the chords already. But I saw somebody else, and they were playing an F. And so they didn't put a capo on at all. They just played an F. But again, they went to the B, B, F, C. One, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 5. So yeah, so it's kind of a neat thing to work out, and so yeah, it's kind of neat. So I hope that makes sense to you. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, probably creating more confusion than help. Maybe it's coming through. But work at it. Sit down and think about that for a little while. Write it down on a piece of paper and sit and work out some of the chords, how they would look, and then play them and go back to it. And it'll help you out. It'll help you in terms of getting comfortable with that language. If you're playing with a group and you hear it, it's a good idea to master it and to get comfortable with it, because it'll just make your playing and your ability to switch on the fly a lot easier. All right. I'm going to leave that right there then. I hope this makes sense. I hope I didn't confuse you. And I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world.